Hey, welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
We have a huge topic today. Small, but also huge.
Yes. Small, but also huge. I like that. I like that one. Yeah.
So I
Wow.
will, I will let you talk about the class people may not know that you are a mother and daughter. So would you present yourself a bit and also talk about your
What? People
success
don't know
journey?
that?
May not, may not, may not. Maybe they
I know.
didn't watch our YouTube videos yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still trying to be the right mama.
Oh,
Oh,
the perfect mama.
The perfect mom.
perfect mama and perfect daughter. Everything that is times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online shorts, boys, poets, and beyond. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this very interesting conversation on conscious parents, conscious kids. And today's topic is, hold on, I have it in here, how to deal with little masters, being me in this case, of course.
It's really interesting. I must share with you because Eileen said little monsters, and I heard must.
Oh, little monster.
We have each
It's
different
funny
point of view about
because that is
children.
the energy.
That is the energy, right? The little monsters.
Even though I'm not a parent, the energy is like, monster.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
It's been almost,
So,
yeah.
sorry, I was just going to introduce myself.
Yes, please do.
I am Isha Bawa Sethi. I'm an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. I got introduced to Access Consciousness in 2014. And of course, like a lot of other people across the globe, I started my journey with an introduction, and then, of course, a bars class. And then when I did the foundation class, there was really, really no looking back whatsoever. And I started off with just using the tools, and I felt such a change and such an empowerment in my world that I hadn't ever recognized I did, but like I had never experienced it for myself before. That I was so inspired to just be this being of um, empowerment, or so to say, that takes steps towards being more and more of that every single day, that I chose to step into the shoes of being an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, because that is truly something that creates change, of course, for me personally. But for me, there's nothing like walking the world and recognizing that you can change every molecule with just your very being. And that's what got me to facilitate even more and inspires me to facilitate each and every single day of my life.
Wow, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
I want to ask, I may jump in directly to the subject, but how was being the daughter of a um, access consciousness mother?
Absolutely phenomenal.
Right?
If I was the daughter of an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, I don't know, I would have still chosen it, but uh, it would have been a different journey. I'm very, very grateful to have a mother who's been exposed to the tools of Access Consciousness, who actually is embodying the tools. There's one thing about choosing the tools and choosing to be in Access and choosing to attend the classes. And then there's a whole other aspect to it where you actually, when you close a laptop, when you shut the manual, you're not forgetting and going back to this reality. You're actually making a conscious choice to embody the change and the choice to be an empowered being and to empower every single being around you. And that for me is the most liberating thing to have had, and to have a mother who chooses that every single day.
How did you get so lucky?
How did I
I
get so
so-
lucky?
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. Isha.
Thank you for asking that question, Alan.
Yeah. And if I can say here that, you know, it really is a simultaneity of gifting and receiving. I could not be who I am without the constant silent support and um, the constant I'm going to use the word push here because somewhere push creates too, where, like, and that was what it was. There were moments when I'd be like, I just can't do this anymore. And it's like, I'm just done. And Isha would just come and ask me a question and she'd be, and that would just change the energy of the entire space that I had been in. And the grumbling mom and the upset mom and the angry mom. And that would just change the entire space. And I would be like, gosh, I have the tools. I have the tools to make this easy. I have the tools to create so much greater, so much more. Does that mean that everything's going to be perfect in my life? No. Does it mean that my family is going to be perfect? No. Does it mean that money streams and my body and everything's going to be perfect? I'll never have a problem again? No. But yes, I will have the tools. I will have the tools to make it easy. I will have the tools that will take me around what's going on, that seems to be stifling me, that seems to be controlling who I be. And just acknowledging that to myself actually started to create so much change in my world. And I could actually, I could just keep going, because I knew that these kids, my two girls and my husband, they have my back through it, and that is what Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids is really all about. It's this co-creation between parents and kids, and where, you don't have to be in a fight with your parents. You don't, and you do argue sometimes, you do have different opinions at times, but not from a space of you are wrong and I'm right, but from a space of I don't get you. Could you be more clear with what exactly you'd like me to know?
Also, I'd like to just add to what you so beautifully just said. The thing about having different opinions is, what would it be like if you actually welcomed your parents and your kids to actually have different opinions, because they're a whole other being? If they don't have different opinions, it's like, are they really asking themselves questions? Are they really asking themselves what works for them and what doesn't work for them? And of course, sometimes you will have the same awarenesses, and sometimes you will have completely different opinions. And instead of shutting them down and saying, you're wrong, I have more experience than you do, you don't know how the world works yet because I'm an adult and you're not. What if you, with the space of true and total allowance and welcoming of different opinions and different questions and different awarenesses, because that is a huge acknowledgement of the fact that they're a completely different being and their world is completely different.
Wow, that's amazing, ladies. Wow. So then you started to co-facilitate CPCK, Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids. That's
Well,
amazing.
if I can actually say, when I was in Rome for my, Isha, it was Isha's first CF training, and we were in Rome for our training together, and, we were sitting together, and there was an announcement that was made that there's going to be a conversation around the Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids class. And it's a speciality. And if anyone would like more information, meet us in the room outside. And, so I was like, oh my God, I'm going for this. And Isha was like, wow, mom, not see you. I was so excited about a class. And I'm like, I'm so excited. And I got up to, and once, we had lunch break, I was like, let's go. And I looked around, and we were like a number of people, friends sitting together. And I looked at all of them and I said, are you guys coming for the CPCK meeting? And they said, nah, parenting, so boring. Conscious parents, conscious kids, nah. And I looked at Isha and I said, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not something that's really going to contribute. You know how easy we are to go to wrongness of ourselves, how easy we are to judge what we know. And I was like, maybe maybe I just got excited stupidly. Let's not go, Isha. Let's just go and have lunch. And she looked at me and she said, Mom, I saw the way your body lit up. You got to go there.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And that's the moment I was like, okay. It was so easy for me to shut my knowing down. But when you have you have a, I don't want to say my child because that makes it so, but when,
Mhm.
you have your daughter with you who's also conscious and who also recognizes energy and recognizes light and heavy and she's like, hey, Mom, you're not stepping down. You're going to trust what you know. You're not going to give up what you know just because nobody else gets it. And
Yeah.
So
yeah,
yeah, so it added a different kind of creationship in your family, I guess,
it
right?
did. It did. It really did. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And how
amazing.
and how much, Isha and me facilitating this class has actually broadened the way our family is. When I say broadened, it's like it's really expanded who we be as people. My husband, my younger daughter, all of us, there's just been this amazing energy that I don't know if it would have really been possible for us to be if we hadn't been introduced to the tools of CPCK.
Wow.
Very beautifully put.
Yes. And
Um,
this class is just only the ones who are parents. It's also who are considering to become a parent and who were once upon a time a kid too, right?
You were ever a kid, this class is for you.
Another energy of CPCK that I love so much is the class is really about giving birth to something that you actually truly desire. It could be children, it could be a creation, it could be like anything. What are you looking to give birth to? What are you looking to get into fruition, actualization, into actual true physical form that hasn't ever existed before for you? That really
Right.
is
Yeah.
CPCK, because we think, oh, changing diapers, filling bottles with milk is CPCK, but it's like, no, what are you what are you looking to bring into physical actualization? What is it that you are um looking to give birth to that has never really existed before? Whether that's a greater relationship with your kids, whether that's a greater relationship with your parents, or a whole other creation altogether. Um, Nature is something that we truly, totally create with every single day. And if we are willing to include your nurturing energies with nature, because nature is one thing that will not grow unless it's nurtured. And that's a lot like kids. That's a lot like our little monsters. Yeah. The more you nurture them, the more you hear them, the more, and each plant is different. Some plants require a lot of water. Some plants don't require that much water. So it's like we make it so complicated with children, and I want to acknowledge parents too here. But it's like if we know, if we are willing to nurture our plants, the trees, nature in its totality, kids are just like people, beings are just like that. Each one of us requires something different. And it doesn't have to be really complicated for us to grow and for us to be that energy with each other. It's really about just asking one question. What do they require to grow in this second? What do they require from me to feel nurtured in this second? And just asking that question and leaving it, not feeling the need to do anything about it, is literally the greatest gift you can give yourself and them around you, because you as an infinite being hear the question and automatically, instantly transform your energies and molecules to match that question. So there's nothing that happens on a level of, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, controlling yourself into being the energy of nurturance. It doesn't work. But if you just ask the question and allow the molecules of your world to shift and transform to kind of match that question automatically, It creates the greatest results of all time.
Yeah, it sounds like being an out of control parent instead of the who is a control freak.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so beautiful when, this entire energy that Isha just brought up of actually parenting and being the energy of nurturance with everything around you. It could include your pets, it could include your house, it could include your business. Like, how are you parenting your business? Are you controlling your business, or are you being the nurturance, the bioenergetic nurturance that your business requires of you? And what if you could parent yourself the way you always wanted to be parented now? Even if you're a 60 or a 70-year-old person today, what if you could parent yourself instead of blaming your parents or blaming, them for who you are today, instead of blaming them for what you couldn't receive? What if you could truly start to nurture yourself and parent yourself into receiving what you've always been asking for?
Hmm.
Yeah, I took this class 4 years ago. I mean, I guess it was 4 years ago, at least 4 years ago.
At least.
So, yeah, and both of my parents are passed away, and yet it's so shifted the relationship that we still have energetically, I will say, and invited me to be my own parent instead of, uh, you know, getting stuck in the past events or whatever it is. It was
Totally.
amazing. I still have goosebumps remembering that 2 days.
Yes.
That
That
is
was the
so.
first time we met you, and I so remember that island. It was, I think, during COVID, and just facilitating that class and watching your body change, your face change, and you being like, "But I'm not even a parent." And you're like, "Well, what are you aware of?" And how many lifetimes have you been a parent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
And it's like one of the things I ask myself a lot of times, like, what if you could parent yourself? From what Island just brought up, it's like, what if you could parent yourself? And what are the things that you would tell your child as an infinite being that you're not saying to yourself because you're being so hard on yourself, or you're going through blame, shame, regret, guilt, anger? But it's like, if you were looking at your child as an infinite being, if you were addressing your child as the infinite being that they are, what would you say to yourself if you were talking to yourself as the infinite being that you be? And what if we can start to really, really embrace that energy instead of being the energy of wrongness with ourselves constantly?
Yeah. Yeah. And I would also like to ask you, you both mentioned the nurturing relation, between parents and kids. What is nurturing relationship for you? It's a huge word, so I would like to discover more.
For me, nurturing really is the willingness to acknowledge that you have choice and I'm in total allowance of whatever you choose. I will show you that you don't have to jump off the cliff. I will ask you a question. I will lend you my hand, and I will nurture you to know that there is a different way that's possible.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
For
Thank
me,
you.
nurturance is the energy of growth. To be the energy of a fertilizer for someone's world is the energy of nurturance for me. It's like, and the recognition of every being requiring something different. So if you have more than one child, or if you have, a set of parents, each being will require something else to be nurtured. And the energy of nurture is not solid. The energy of nurture does not have an order to it, doesn't have a definition, because it's not like, okay, A plus B equals nurturance, because each person's world is so different that there is no solid formula to figuring it out. All that is there is today, Literally, all that you have is today, and that is creating your tomorrow. So nurturance literally is, for me, is like, what do I require to be in this moment that would create greatness, not only today, but also tomorrow? Because you're today, because when I look at the future, I look at it as I'm weaving the future with the choices that I'm making right now. It's like knitting, knitting is like you're knitting something right now, but that's what is leading to the next knot, which is leading to the next one. And it's like, what are you flowing into your future? Are you flowing kindness? Are you flowing allowance? Are you flowing integrity? Are you flowing greatness? Or are you just flowing constant wrongness of every choice that your child is making and that you are making? It doesn't work that way. So
Yeah.
that is what nurturing is for me. The recognition of greatness being different for every single being, and your present moment also weaving the tapestry of the story that you will tell tomorrow.
Wow. Wow. Mic drop.
Truly amazing. Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
we'll have an amazing today with you on October 14th and 15th.
And we are so excited, looking forward to this, because what we have noticed, we facilitated a lot of foundations together over these 8 years that we've been facilitating, and it's been 10 years now being in Access. And, you know, the one thing that we've noticed with CPCK is that the energy of the CPCK in itself is nurturance. Just
Oh,
the just the energy, if you allow.
Yeah, we already got it. I mean, you about speaking about being a conscious parent and also conscious kids, you also pass us the energy also. That's amazing. Wow.
yeah. And it's like there have been moments where participants have come to class, and on the last day, they've been like, they've said, I haven't ever experienced the nurturing, the kindness of the energy like this ever before in my life. And it's like, it's not necessarily it's not necessarily me or mom. It's really the energy of what conscious parents, conscious kids demands each of us to be. And the demand of each class is so different, because this is not even like that intense demand. It's more of like a
It's like a do or
intense,
die.
intense introduction to learning to receive,
Yeah,
which really starts to melt every solidity that we have, used to put up walls, barriers. It just kind of melts away, and you're just sitting there like a ball of mush, not realizing that you could actually ever receive that for yourself.
Wow.
Sorry, mom. I know I cut you off,
not
but
at all. Not at all. You just said it so beautifully. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how much of that, what Isha said, that, when after a class, people are like, oh my God, this, you almost feel like this is the first time I'm actually getting to know who I am. Because so much of the personality that we're talking about now actually has been melting in the CPCK classes over the years, because, how much were you parented through a personality instead
yeah.
of being.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's a great space to discover doing parenting and being a parent,
yes,
the difference between.
yes, yes.
And I think if I have to, sorry, but if I have to say like something that one of the things that I want to leave everyone with probably is the energy that each parent on this planet is doing their best with their children. But it's like each child also comes with their own set of points of views and their world. So you can't ever screw your kids up. Each child will have an opinion, each child will have a point of view, and a lot of the time that has to do more with what they have to facilitate themselves out to and what magic and miracle they're up to. and not necessarily with anything that you did wrong. So blame, shame, regret, guilt on yourself is not fun. Please do not put it. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your kids. And we all, each and every parent in the world can do the best they will do. But it's like every child will still, every being will still have a journey to explore, things to change, things to choose, things to outcreate. And doesn't have to do necessarily anything to do with you.
Truly.
Wow. So I wonder
It's
if you have any questions also, ladies. Do we have any questions in Turkish Zoom? Sorry, Isha, you were saying something else. Did I interrupt it?
no.
Yeah, I guess we don't have any.
Amazing. Yeah, we look forward to the 2-day class in Istanbul. And I truly wonder what this can create for you, for your kids, for your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, your friends, your business, your spouse, your in-laws, and so much more. You know, it's like, and what can that change for you? What can that change for you that you've been asking for? We have a question,
Yes,
Nihan.
it seems we have a question.
Hi, Nihan.
Hello, hello. I
Maybe
thought maybe we were going to have a question from the Turkish chat. There's a question coming from the comments asking, what can we be aware of with lying in our kids? So when our kids are lying, what should we be aware of?
What would you like to say to that, Isha?
Why don't you take that and I'll add to what you say?
Okay.
Because,
So,
you probably have a little bit of experience with that.
as a daughter, as a child, and as a parent, I did it and I also bear the brunt of it. Well, when kids are lying to you, you want to recognize they already have a judgment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't lie to you. So they either believe that you won't be able to receive them, or they believe that they're wrong. So if you were not to call them out on the lie, if you were not to say, I know you're lying, and make them even more wrong, and if you could just be like, okay, and ask another question. And in your head, keep saying truth and truth and truth, 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 truth. And allow your child to know that they can actually speak with you anything, about anything. And that'll come from them trusting that they won't be made wrong for that. And that's, in my opinion, that really is about, if your child could say anything to you and they knew that they would be received, would they have the need to tell lies?
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Nisha, what would you like to add to that, darling?
Well, you put it so beautifully, and it's like what I would like to add to that is that a lot of us as adults as well, we have a lot of judgment of what lies and what lies create, because we also have an awareness of like lies do not create greatness. But it's like I would start with poking my judgments of lies. What is my judgment of a lie? What is my judgment of being lied to? What is my judgment of lying to others? And it's like, Gary puts it so beautifully. He says, if you call your child out on a lie, what will that create? There's some small little things like a 2-3-year-old child will be like, I haven't eaten anything since the morning, I will only eat ice cream or something funny they'll come up with. So it's like a lot of adults like, you know what? They love giving into it because they love the cuteness. And it's like, what will giving into it create? But it's like there's some lies that actually create destruction. And then there's some stuff that's like, it doesn't really have anything to do with the future really. But like you want to ask, if you call your child out on this, what will that create? A lot of times it creates greatness, but a lot of times it also creates destruction. So it's like you always want to stay in the question about the future. And you can just look at your child, sometimes just looking at your child and be like, that's cute, you think I would buy that. Okay, got it. And you're not making them wrong for it, but you're also letting them know that it won't work with you because, been there, done that too. So you want to ask, what will create great? And a lot of times sitting with your child and just asking them questions, and mom has summed it up as beautifully as it can be summed up. It's like, if you don't judge if you don't basically judge lies, you're not judging your child. What goes on is you're judging the energy of a lie, and it comes across like you're judging your child for lying. But it's like, if you can sit and ask them, don't look at the lie, look at what's underneath that. What is creating that to show up? And that's the energy you'd like to address. Because if this is something you can address, this lie, it'll melt away. So talk to what lies underneath the surface. Don't talk to the surface.
And it's also expecting the child to be honest or to be the perfect child, not ever lying, etc. Right? There's also expectations.
Right.
Yeah.
And you may also want to do everywhere. I've done that and been that creates all the anger in my world while seeing that, pod and pork. Because if you've ever lied and intensely judged yourself to have created or destroyed something, you'll hate the energy of the lie, but it'll come across like you're hating the person. Pod and pork, everywhere you have a judgment of the lie, pod and pork, anywhere and everywhere you've done that, and anywhere and everywhere you swore to never, ever, ever do that again. And then you can receive the being of your child. It's acknowledge the being, don't talk to the behavior. And it changes the behavior instantly of the child. If you're going to talk to the behavior of the child, it will not change. But if they're behaving off, you want to address the being. You want to acknowledge the being. Hey, what's going on? If you address the behavior is probably showing up because it's the way of the being reaching out. So reach out to the being. Do not bother with addressing the behavior, and the behavior will change.
Yeah. That.
Thank you for that. And I guess we have another question, right? Awesome.
Another question from the Turkish chat. I have made my kid wrong until today, especially when they engage in behaviors just like their dad. How can I transform this now?
Interesting point of view. I have this point of view, and what's right about all of this that I'm not getting. Please be gentle on yourself, darling. Be kind to yourself. You're not wrong. You're doing a great job with the tools that you've had up until now. But now, what if there's a different possibility with the tools that are now available to you? Which, of course, we will delve very deeply into, in class. We will delve deeper. We will, there's so much that we can actually dive into.
Yeah. I would also ask, what are they facilitating me into? Because kids facilitate parents so much. So it's like asking that one question can free you from any jail or imprisonment that you may have put yourself into.
Wow. Thank you for that. We have another question in English Zoom, in fact. Rachna, I hope I didn't butcher her name. Disciplining children brings resistance. Not doing so, letting them be and being in allowance with whatever they are doing also brings up fear and not playing our role well as a parent. Any tools you can help with?
By you know, by getting them to get aware that every choice they make is creating something. What is this choice going to create? Instead of saying, this is wrong, what you're doing, do it this way. What will this create? Get them to look at it and be like, oh, this is not going to create what I really want to create in my life.
This is like inviting them to the awareness.
Yes.
Instead of rules and
yes,
other stuff.
Rules are created to be broken.
Well said.
We do talk about rules also in the class, and disciplining it.
Yeah.
You get a beautiful manual, you get a beautiful booklet. And yeah, there's so much more that we can explore together.
Yeah. Wow.
A lot about this will be covered in the class.
Yeah. And there are two possibilities for people who would like to join. One is a one-day class. For those who never got any access classes, it's also available. And it's 2-day, right? For those who got a bars class already. Amazing.
Excited and looking forward to creating, especially because we also have the 3-day body class.
Yeah, we do have also that. Yeah, just before the CPCK.
How much fun can that be, right?
Yes, it will be. It will be so much of discovering ourselves, parents, parenting, family, and lots of other stuff that we can bring on this world. We can add.
Truly. Yeah, Nihan?
Question from
correctly?
Yes, you are. Thank you. Question from our Turkish participants. Can they attend the 2-day class or the 1-day class, the Conscious Parents, Conscious Kids, online as well, or only in person?
They can. They can attend it online and they can attend it live.
Thank you.
With their children or without their children.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies. Anything else that you would like to add before we wrap up?
Well, we look forward to seeing you all, and thank you, Alan. Thank you so much for creating this absolutely magical creation in Turkey, and our lovely, lovely, lovely friends, Alsan, Aisha, Nihan, and am I forgetting somebody?
Fade.
Yes. Thank you so much, and we really are looking forward to creation.
Yes, and we will also share the links if people requires any further information about the details. So keep following, or you can just contact me or Aysun or Aicha or Nihan or any of us for whatever you require. And Badi also. Hey Badi, I just saw you. Amazing. You look amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, everyone. I am so grateful to have been a part of this beautiful creation. And I look forward to playing with you all soon.
Looking forward. Bye, guys.
Thank you guys
Bye,
for
ladies.
creating this and putting your energies into everything this has been.
Yeah, thank you, translators. See you soon all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Do this.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Good night.